So we've got a bit of a lull in the building work and it's a gorgeous day, so I thought I'd give you a quick tour of the kitchen garden. It's only had 2 hours of work on it in the last month, so you know, some bits of it are looking a bit shabby, but yeah, it is what it is. It's pretty good. So if I scan the camera carefully, you might think, what building work? And then you see this big new building here, and patio looks like this, and the drive looks like this. So that's why I'm spending a bit more time than usual on the allotment right now. Just get away from it all. So yeah, let's just take a quick look around. I am really pleased with these outdoor tomatoes. Look at those, Tigerella, the size of those trusses. Really pleased with those. They just like it there. Everything seems to grow really well up against that wall. And tumblers are doing pretty well as well. I've got loads of them all around the outside. I've just harvested them today, so there's no new ones on there. I've got beetroot interplanted with shallots in there. And then down here, I've got the golden purslane. And this is, I think, what a golden purslane bed should look like. You know, it's cropped and it's picked hard every week. And so I'm taking every shoot off like this every week, you know, to keep it cropped short. And that's the way you want it if you want to eat it in salads. But if you want to eat it, you know, for cooking and whatever, then obviously you can let the plants grow bigger. But they are incredibly productive, and that is really useful because right now our lettuces are in dire straits because of caterpillars eating them. The grapevine is looking really nice. We've got a lot of grapes on it this year, and I'm just sort of trying to look after it a little bit more than I have in the past. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'm no like expert at looking after grapevines, so primarily I kind of just keep cutting it back because I don't want it to compromise everything else that's growing in these veg beds. Because the grape harvest is sort of less important than the veg harvest, but anyway, that's my technique. It seems to work. So then I've got leeks that I just planted a couple of days ago, and kale. And there was a little bit of damage on some of these kale leaves, but there's so much for the pigeons to eat at the moment. Not really worrying about it too much. And kale that I planted a few weeks ago, and that is looking, you know, really quite nice. I've just taken off some of the damaged lower leaves, but it's looking okay. The leeks, unfortunately, are not looking that great. I'm starting to get some rust on them. These are the early leeks, and the ones on the allotment, which are for eating later, they are in better condition. So I'm not overly worried about it. I'm not really going to manage them really, because I'm not going to take all the leaves off and all that sort of thing, like I've done in the past when I've had rust, just because I just don't have time right now. These more outdoor tomatoes not doing as well because they haven't got the wall to keep them warm, and some little Brussels sprouts there, planted late, but you know, that's just because when beds come free. I think they're doing okay. So I've got a little courgette there, some more tumbler tomatoes, and then these are the chili peppers, all the sweet peppers on the allotment. The chili peppers are so much healthier because they weren't planted in the dodgy compost, and yeah, we've had a lot of chili peppers off those so far. A little apple tree there, and then this is the new bed that we put in 2 years ago, and we've got colettes and Tuscan kale there. And again, I've done my colettes at sort of staggered planting times this year. So previously I've done all of them in March, and so this time I've sown some in April and some in May, and I think these are the ones that I did in May, and they're looking okay actually. And you know, I mean, obviously they're way smaller than the ones on the allotment, but I think I'll still get a little bit of a harvest off them. And we do like colettes in spring, you know, because you get a really nice flush of leaves off them that's really tasty, and we use that in lieu of not planting any spring cabbages. So yeah, I need to put stakes in to support them, but other than that, they're doing okay. Just a few carrots there. And then these are the parsnips. So these didn't have an interplant, so these are planted reasonably close together, looking pretty good. These did have an interplant, and so were planted marginally further apart, but they were all interplanted with red onions, and I've just harvested the red onions actually, and they're looking really nice. I'm really pleased with them. It's a lovely interplant, I think, parsnips and onions. You know, neither crop bothers the other crop. There's kind of no compromises. It's a true bonus harvest, and although you don't get a huge amount of onions, I think I got 26, you know, big red onions out of that bed and that bed. You know, 26 is a nice bonus if things happen to go wrong with my main crop onions on the allotment. You know, I'll be very happy to have those extra 26. So these are the runner beans, looking pretty good. I've just been harvesting those, so there's hopefully none on there now. But these are the dwarf French beans, and the harvest actually has been really great off them, but I think snails have just eaten all the growing tips off these plants. And as I said, I've only spent 2 hours on this in the last month, and so I just haven't sort of managed the snail population. And because of all this building work, I think they've used to sort of live underneath the old garage that was on there, on that concrete base there. I think I've driven all the snails into this bed, so I need to deal with that. But you know, we're still getting a good harvest off them, surprisingly. In fact, more than we can eat, but they just haven't grown, and you can sort of see there's just something's happened anyway to the growing tips. Maybe it's a virus or something, but whatever it is, it's stunted them. And then these are the colettes that I started actually quite early. So I think these are February. Again, just trying different sowing dates, experimenting. And these really struggle to get established. And I think it's just because of light levels. You know, this area here is just about to lose its light now, and it's only 4 o'clock. Whereas the ones on the allotment get light for a lot longer, and they're way bigger, even though they were planted in March. The ground was prepared well. I was worried I'd probably got cabbage root fly or something like that, but if I have, they've grown through it and succeeded. But I've just been taking the lower leaves off these just to give them a bit of airflow, and what I also do is I take the inner leaves off as well, so that again I'm just keeping airflow high. I don't want any disease problems with these. I'm looking pretty healthy. Bit more building site, and then this is the strawberry bed, and it's been absolutely great. I was a bit unsure about it when I planted it 2 years ago, but I've been really pleased with it. It is actually possible to harvest it fairly successfully, but there was just a couple of little gaps in it, and so I've just popped in 3 Brussels sprouts here, and just, you know, 4 Brussels sprouts, because we need as many as we can. We don't have a lot of space on the allotment for Brussels, so and everybody loves them. A little bit of building work, and then down here I've just popped in some spare sweet corn and my main red cabbage bed. So we're going to run out of red cabbages on the allotment in a week, and it looks, oops, just falling over a ladder. We've got some really nice red cabbages here to take their place. So yeah, I'm hoping that these red cabbages last us well into sort of late autumn really, and they'll be pretty massive by then. And then we've got a few on the allotment that we'll pick in sort of December. Basically, we'll wait until the first really hard frost, and then we'll pick them and we'll stick them in our store and just keep them wrapped up in there for another month or so. So hopefully we'll have red cabbage till, well, maybe even until spring, we'll see. And the blueberries are going blue, not on there because we've just had the grandkids round. I think they've scoured the blueberry bushes and picked most of them, but yeah, I just love having all this fruit to eat fresh off the bushes. So we've got blueberries and gooseberries and then all raspberries down the back wall there. And I already showed you the strawberries. And cherries are finished in that corner. And oh, another little glimpse of building work. So that is pretty much it for the kitchen garden. So I hope you liked this quick video. My name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.